All praise to the Most High, AHAYAH, and His Son, Yeshua, the Messiah. Hallelujah. This is Brother Holly here on the AHAYAH'S channel with the Spirit of Truth broadcast for this set-apart Sabbath day. This is our second broadcast this set-apart Sabbath day, and this we'll be talking about in this broadcast the commandments of the Messiah. Now, there are multiple commandments found in the Gospels, primarily from the Messiah to us. But I want to focus in on the Messiah basically giving us a rendition of his Father's commandments, but them not being his Father's commandments, but being his commandments. He gave us 10 commandments in the same way his Father gave us 10 commandments from Mount Sinai. He gave us 10 commandments in the Sermon on the Mount. He went up on the mount and talked to the people. For there was a multitude gathered around him as well. And from there, he gave us, his people, 10 commandments or manners to be, or ways to be, to exhibit his character and his plan for the earth. Hallelujah. So let's look at it. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. And I'm going to read these so-called Beatitudes in the way of them being commandments. So when he says, blessed are the poor in spirit, basically saying, be poor in spirit. And here's why. For if you're poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is yours. Or the kingdom of AHAYAH is yours. Now, the scriptures tell us in other places, the great apostle Paul, in whom we trust, told us that he knew how to abound and how to abase, how to have everything and have nothing at all, and but whatever state he was in, to be there with content. Did not Paul, in whom we trust, tell us that having a godly character and with contentment is great gain? So having a high character, being upright, and being content with righteousness and uprightness is great gain. So when the Messiah said, be poor of spirit, he's saying have a spirit that's not seeking after riches, for the kingdom of heaven is yours, or the kingdom of my Father is yours. You don't need to be seeking the riches of this world. You have the riches of heaven at your disposal. Hallelujah. So that's the first of his commandments. The second one found in verse 4, Matthew 5:4. Blessed are the mourners, or be mournful. Why? Because you will be comforted. Did not Paul, whom we trust, tell us to rejoice with those that rejoice, mourn with those who mourn? There, Paul, speaking by the Spirit of the Most High, giving us commandments on how to behave one with another. Here the Messiah is telling us that he looks upon being mournful, or being willing to join in mourning, puts you in a place where you're going to be comforted by him and by his Spirit. Hallelujah. Number 3, blessed are the meek, or the teachable, because they will inherit the earth. He's saying, be meek or be teachable, and you will inherit the globe, the planet, the earth. The earth is Messiah, is the Most High's, and the fullness thereof. And he's given it into the hands of men. He will give it to you if you are teachable, if you're meek, unassuming. He said, blessed are you when you're meek, teachable. Number 4, verse 6. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for uprightness. So when you go after uprightness in a insatiable way, when you hunger and thirst after doing what's right at all times and in all places, you will be satisfied. The Most High is going to satisfy you with good things. He's going to satisfy you with power and provision and purpose. He will satisfy you. When you go after uprightness, that gives joy to his heart. He's going to satisfy you with good things. No good thing will he withhold from those that walk uprightly. And when you hunger and thirst after uprightness, he'll open the doors for you. Hallelujah. You will be satisfied. It said, blessed are the merciful, or be merciful, because on them will be mercies, or you will receive mercy. We can be merciful, for we have received mercy. All of us in our lives have been in a place where we needed mercy because we had done things that, were just wrong in the eyes of the Most High. And we came to the Most High with a repentant heart, and the Most High gave us mercy. So now that we've received mercy from on high, the Most High through His Son is instructing us to pass that mercy to others that offend us. You've offended the Most High. I've offended the Most High. And He forgave us our offense. So you in turn around and forgive others when they offend you. Did not Messiah teach us that? He taught us to forgive those who trespass against us. And He told us why. He said, if you don't forgive them, the Father ain't going to forgive you. Now this is probably the hardest of the commandments that the Messiah gave us to keep. Because we want to hold on to an offense when someone offends us. We want to hold on to it. But you got to let it go. I've seen people who, said, they refuse to let an offense go. Even after it was shown in the scriptures that they had to let it go. I'll never forget this woman I was teaching in an adult Bible class over in Hawaii. She would not let the offense of her dead husband go. The man was dead. He had done things, to her while he was alive that were offensive to her. And she still wasn't going to forgive him. I said, sis, it's going to cost you everything. She said, I don't care. Wow. Wow. I'll read it again. It's verse 7, but the fifth commandment, bless all the merciful, because on them will be mercies. You will receive mercy. Extend it, you'll receive it. It said, bless or be pure in heart, because they will see AHAYAH. You're going to see the Most High if you have a pure heart. To have a pure heart, you're commanded to have a pure heart. A heart free of offense. A heart free of judgmentalism. A heart free of, hypocrisy. And evil surmises against your brothers and sisters. We talked a little bit about this last week. Being judgmental of your brother and sister. Your brother and sister is your brother and sister. They're not your servant. They're a servant of Messiah. And to their own master they'll stand or fall. And He's able to keep them standing. So you're not to judge. I'm not to judge. We're not to judge one another. But we're to judge and we don't put a stumbling block in each other's path. So right here He's telling you, have a pure heart. When you think on me, when I think on you, I should think on you with a pure heart. Not thinking that you're trying to do something to me or holding on to something that you may have said or done something about me, or you may be judging me for this or that, or me judging you for this. We shouldn't be involved in that. We got to have pure hearts, because only the pure of heart are going to see the Most High. Hallelujah. Verse 9, which is the seventh commandment. Blessed or be a peacemaker, because you shall be called the sons of AHAYAH. Now, a peacemaker is one that will suffer wrong for the sake of peace. But just let them have it for the sake of peace. Sometimes you're just going to have to suffer wrong for the sake of peace. Yes, it was wrong for them to take that from you. Yes, it should be yours. Yes, you had every right to it. Yes, they defrauded you of it. Let it go for the sake of peace. For you're working on something eternal while you caring about something temporal. Let that sink in for a moment. You're working on something eternal while you're caring about something that's temporal. Whatever someone defrauded you of or kept you from getting or what have you, those things are temporary. Those things are things of this life. They are temporary. What you should concern yourself with, brothers and sisters, are the things that are eternal. If you want to be called a child of the Most High, you have to be about peacemaking. Be at peace as much as possible with everybody. Don't get caught up. It's easy to get caught up in clashes. Just walk away. Walk away. Suffer wrong. It's better for you to suffer wrong than to suffer long outside the kingdom. I'd much rather you be defrauded in this life that you may be rewarded in the next. Have an eternity mindset. Always think on things that are to be, not on things that are. Think on things that are to be, not the things that are. The things that are temporary. The things that are to be are eternal. Hallelujah. Verse 10, Matthew 5:10, or the 8th commandment of the Messiah. Blessed are those that are persecuted because of uprightness, because theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Now, when you do what is right in the eyes of the Most High, a lot of times in the eyes of people, it will not be looked upon in the same light. I.e., it's the Sabbath. And the people that you might work for may have an outing or some business or some work day, in preparing for some inspection or whatever on the Sabbath. Now, you can tell them, hey, I can't join you because the seventh day is the Sabbath. I can't join you. I have a commandment from the scriptures to not work. You're asking me to work, and I have a commandment from the Most High not to work. So I'm gonna have to obey the Most High on this one. And say, well, it might cost you. We might have to make some decisions about your future employment here. That's just gonna have to be okay with you. You might be persecuted for that, but be persecuted for uprightness. Because the Messiah said, if you're buffeted for your faults, what glory is that? He said that through Peter in Peter's first epistle. If you're buffeted for your fault, what glory is that? But if you're buffeted when you do what's right, now that has an eternal weight of glory assigned to it. That is pleasing to the Most High sight. So do that which is upright at all times. And even when you know that you're going to suffer for it, do what is right. Because you've been given a commandment to do that. Let's read it again. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of uprightness, because theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's, again, have an eternity mindset. What happens from day to day here is of little consequence in consideration to what's going to happen for all eternity. Keep an eternal mindset. What happens on a day-to-day basis has an effect on eternity. Don't mistake that. But what happens day to day is of little consequence to what's going to happen for eternity. I mean, some of us are going to be put to death for the faith. Some of us are going to lose everything. Most High said, because of me, a man's enemy be them of his own household. I've had people in my own family walk away from me because I keep the Most High's law, statutes, commandments, judgment, ordinance, precepts, walk in his way, word, and will, and obey his voice. They cut me off. People I thought would never turned on me. All I can say is all praises to the Most High. All praises. Because I'm not doing this to be pleasing to them. I'm doing this to be pleasing to him who has promised me life everlasting. They never made me that promise. It's not in their power to do that. So if I had to choose between them, their company, or the company of the Most High, I'll choose the company of the Most High. Every time. Hallelujah. Matthew 5, verse 11, or the 9th commandment that the Messiah gave. You are blessed when they curse you and persecute you and say every evil word against you falsely because of me. Now this is almost like another level of the 8th commandment that we just read. This is when it's explicitly they're persecuting you because of the Messiah, because of what he said, and because of what you're doing based on what he said to do. This is like the next level, and you get the same reward. It's in verse 12. It says, "Then rejoice and be glad, because your reward is great in heaven." So you're going to receive a reward if you're persecuted for uprightness, but if you're persecuted for obeying the Messiah's words, that's a greater reward. There's a reward in being persecuted for uprightness, but there's even a greater reward when you're persecuted and they speak evil because of the Messiah, because of your adherence to his way, his law, his statute, his commandments. He said, "Then rejoice and be glad, because your reward is great in heaven, for so they persecuted prophets who were before you." Man, you're in the same class as Isaiah now. Oh, hallelujah. Verse 13, "You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt should go flat, with what will it be salted? It is not fit for anything but to be thrown outside and be trampled on by man." Remember, you're the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. It is not possible to hide a city that is built on a mountain. You're to be seen. This is just prep. You're salt. You're to preserve. You're to add flavor. You're light. You're to set yourself up to be looked upon as a light and a way to pointing toward the Messiah. Hallelujah. They do not light a lamp. Verse 15. They do not light a lamp and place it under a basket, but on a lampstand, that it lights all those who are in the house. We're the light of this world. Make no mistake about it, this world lies in wickedness. But we're the light of this world. The 10th commandment of the Messiah. Verse 16. Likewise, your light should shine before men, so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. That's a culmination of your meekness, a culmination of you being persecuted, a culmination of your mercifulness, a culmination of your uprightness. That people would see you performing these things and glorify the Father for what example you're setting. You're commanded to be an example, to be a light in a dark place, that your works would be seen before men for the sole purpose of bringing glory and honor and praise to the Most High, the great I am. Hallelujah. Here are the 10 commandments of the Messiah. Like I said at the beginning, there are more commandments found in the Gospels that the Messiah gave us. Study them out for yourself. Another one is pay your taxes without grumbling. I know it's tax season, folks. So the Messiah gave us a commandment to pay our tax without running our mouth about it. Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and render unto AHAYAH the things that are AHAYAH'S. Hallelujah. Walk in the light, children, and be children of the light, that the men would see your good works and glorify our Father. All praise to the Most High, AHAYAH, and his Son, Yeshua, the Messiah. Hallelujah.